Hey guys, it's Monday, October 15th, and I'm out sick today, so I am recording an audio lecture again. We're going to be doing some essay work today, so I'm hoping that you looked this weekend over your information so that you are prepared to go over what you need to go over today in class. You need to have your 2 subjects, your 3 points of comparison, and then some evidence that you can use. Before we get started with the essay work, you have your sentence revisions. So get out your sentences for your mugs and start revising them. You should be on number 6. Here are the sentences that you are looking at. Oops. Caught those. You got some of the corrections. So go through and make corrections on these sentences, and when you are ready, whoever's in charge of the computer will go ahead. They'll pause it for now, and then they'll go ahead and hit play when it looks like everybody's ready. And instead of doing the one-on-one corrections, I'll just go through the corrections on the next slide. So go ahead and pause it, and when you are ready, you can go ahead and move forward. All right, so here are the corrections that you should have made for these sentences. So the first sentence, the careful, ever watchful security guard, a stout man who wore his dark blue employer-issued uniform with pride, shouted, "Get away from that car." So to start off, we need to capitalize the. So we do the 3 lines underneath it to show the capitalization. And then we need careful, comma, ever watchful. Careful and ever watchful are 2 adjectives that describe the security guard, so we need a comma in between them. And we're going to combine ever watchful into one word with a hyphen. We do the same thing down here with employer issued. So we use the hyphen to combine 2 words into an adjective. So the careful, comma, ever watchful security guard, comma, a stout man who wore his dark blue employer issued uniform with pride. So this entire piece right here, a stout all the way down to with pride, comma, that is all one phrase. It's what's called an appositive phrase. It has a noun as the main part of it, which means the noun is in a positive because it is describing another noun. So man, a noun, is describing guard, a noun. Thus, man is in a positive. Since it is part of this huge phrase, we get an appositive phrase. So this whole thing can be taken out. It's what's called unnecessary information, so you can take it out. You can move it around, but it's not absolutely needed to have the sentence make sense. It just gives us that extra bit of detail. So after the comma with pride, the guard shouted, comma, quotes, because this is what he's saying, get, so we capitalize the first letter of his sentence that he's saying, get away from that car. And since he is shouting it, we can assume it's an exclamation point with quotes at the end. So that is the first sentence. Second one. It's ironical that students say they don't enjoy poetry, yet they love rap music. So it needs a apostrophe. It is. Ironical's not a word, so we cut out the AL at the end. It's ironic that students is not possessive. It's not showing ownership of anything, so we take out the apostrophe. But we do need an apostrophe here between do not, don't, the contraction. Sorry, the contraction here. We need an apostrophe. Still, students say they don't enjoy poetry. Oop. Yet, so we need a comma. Yet is a fanboy conjunction. So it's the Y in fanboys. These all stand for these conjunctions: for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. So fanboys is a way that you can remember you are joining 2 independent clauses with one of these conjunctions, so you need a comma. So a comma, yet they love rap music. It could also say comma, and they love rap music. That doesn't make as much sense in this sentence, but the yet is basically functioning as an and or a but with 2 independent clauses. Okay, so that is a rule that we are going to work on quite frequently throughout this year, is joining independent clauses with one of the fanboys conjunctions and needing a comma. So make sure you have all of those corrections down on your piece of paper. And when you are ready to move on, then again, we'll pause it. And then when you're ready, we will go ahead and hit play. You need to get these corrections down, and then you need to get out your essay information. So the last page of our heroism packet that has the prompt and your note sheets is what you will want out. So go ahead and pause it. When everyone's ready, we can hit play and we'll move on. Okay, so here we're going to work on some outlines. There are some handouts that our guest teacher will go ahead and give to you. And these are the outline handouts. What these are what's called box outlines. So I'm going to try and do some drawing here on the screen. Okay, so roughly what we have, these are going to be some rough pictures, but you have a box outline. Now, we talked about our two subjects, our 3 points of comparison, and then our our 3 points of comparison, and then our evidence that we need to have. Oops, got a little hand there. Okay, this is the basic format of a box outline. Up here is where you're going to put your hook plus your bridge for your intro plus your context. Okay, so remember we talked about on Friday about the context is going to include some sort of definition of the concept of heroism. Okay, so you have something to introduce us into this essay, and then you bridge into the context, which is the definition of heroism, and then you have your thesis. Okay, so your thesis will need to include your two subjects, so the two types of heroes that you are comparing. This is really rough writing, guys, but stick with me. And your 3 points of comparison. Okay, so classic and everyman heroes may not appear to have much in common. However, when we look at the points of selflessness, reaction status, and courage, it becomes apparent that heroes are similar across the ages. Okay. Something like that could be a thesis. I name my two subjects, I name my 3 points. You can do a concession if you're familiar with that, where you maybe concede that they only have 1 point in common, or there's only 1 point of difference and the other two are in common, kind of whatever you come up with for this essay. Now the box outline is different if you're going to use your two subjects as your main topics in your body paragraphs or your 3 points. So both the handout that you have has subject by subject on one side, point by point on the other. Point by point, I feel a lot of times is the easiest. So that's what I'm going to show you. And if I have time, I'll show you the subject ones as well. So point by point has this middle section, your body paragraph section, divided into 3. Okay? So the main idea is for this first paragraph is point 1. So this is all these two boxes up here is your intro paragraph. Okay? This is your first body paragraph. So your topic sentence includes point 1, say selflessness. So my first paragraph is going to be about selflessness. Then I talk about my first subject. Okay? Let's say the classical hero. Subject 1. I'm going to present the classical hero, how they tie back to selflessness, and then I'm going to give my example or my evidence. And then I'm going to discuss how that ties back to selflessness. Okay? Then I will move into my second subject. Do the everyman heroes have selflessness? If they do, then I will compare. That will be the same. Oops, sorry. That should be a 2. And then I will do the same thing with evidence and analysis. So we're going to pause here and then